That's
Yeah,
not fun.
I
They
like that phone
practice
call.
All right, I'm going to call to order the Public Works and Economic Development Committee. Members are Mrs. Ramos, Mr. Rippeth, and myself. Alternate is Mr. Simlak, and he's not there this evening. Excused absence. We have one item to discuss tonight, and that's the resolution for an ODNR grant application. It has to do with the trail down by Waterworks. I'll give Ronnie a couple minutes if he wants to go into a little more details. This is kind of new to everybody here.
Sure. As we know, that'll be the southern gateway for the Highway Canal, which we know we've got northern gateway in Cleveland where it starts. So what we thought we would do down there, which much needed restrooms are needed. So what we was going to do is on the 530 South Broadway building, which is the old Coniglio building, the old Riverview Welding building, we're going to take, that's a 40 by 160 building. We're going to take 40, so a 40-foot section of it, so 40 by 40, and that's going to be the end towards the boat ramp and towards the skate park there. We're going to take out the three walls of that, put a divider wall in the one end, and have a chance for, put a restroom in there naturally, number one, run water there, and have an open area where there's maybe some picnic tables. Not exactly 100% sure what that's gonna be, look like, but I know it's gonna be, that's all gonna be open. And again, it's the southern, or the southern gateway, as far as for the, in the trail. I don't know if anybody, if everybody has saw that or not. I know Councilman Pace has shared it and everything. But then it's just an added thing. It has nothing to do with that being the towpath trail, but we put a trail around the field so that, oh boy, I don't know, say mom goes with little Joey and dad's out there coaching and mom wants to run around that track, walk around that to take some time up. It measures just over a mile, so that you can get some time in and around there, and then maybe do the trail, you know, go up so far. But it's just an added feature, and with the ODNR grant, if we can get it, it's a 75% grant for that.
And I know we had, whatchamacallits, do the engineering on that. What was the cost on that project?
Boy, Dan, and don't
Or
quote me on ballpark. I think it was 631 or somewhere in that neighborhood.
So we're looking at like 180.
Probably with about 100 once we get, because we
Our
can
share.
also go in kind, because the building can go back as our in kind. And then, again, some of that will go for, through the sewer department because of, we'll put we'll have to put a lift station, or a little grinder pump, same thing we put in down Southside Park. We just have a little duplex force main out there, because the sewer's not until we get over into the old Joy parking lot, or Joy parking lot right there.
And I'm not sure, Service Director, if you'd be able to answer this for me. We don't have Beth here either, but what, would that be coming out of general fund? What would it be coming out of?
It may be coming out of master capital. I'm not sure which, as far as whatever she would choose to do. And that, you're probably looking, that's probably be safe. Project, it'll be probably 26 at the earliest. So I don't know if she would be able to say right now, but it'd be either one of
So
those.
it's not gonna be in this year's budget?
No, not this year or next, or next.
And you
Just
feel-
trying to get ahead of things.
You feel comfortable us being able to
Sure,
put that into a regular budget?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And I believe, again, I know on some of the things that I have heard since then has been the need of the restroom, so we needed to address that also at the same time.
yeah.
So that's
That-
why we
That's
chose
all
to
part
do
of
it.
that project?
Yeah, it's all part of the
The
project.
restrooms are part of it?
Yes, yes, that was a.
Okay. So some of that
key
could
component.
probably come from.
That's what I'm saying, it's
from
gonna come
one
out of
our-
the sewer fund.
Yeah, sewer
Sure.
fund.
And
A lot
to be
of,
considered
that'd be
in
a,
kind.
that'd
Yeah.
probably be a larger portion of that. would come.
Yeah,
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 because that's where a lot of the money's at.
yeah. Oh, that's a big part of that fee, because the trails are not, price-wise that expensive.
Yeah. What are they, ground gravel, is that what they're looking at?
The same like the bug dust, I call it, the same way that our Kreider Avenue Trail is, and the same that,
So it
our
could be
south
bicycle or
side.
walking? or-
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not paved or anything like that. Yeah.
And it could be used for multi-use trail, just like the towpath is?
Yep.
Any questions from committee? Mrs. Ramos?
I'm sorry, Mr. McAbear, I missed, how much it would cost the city.
Actually, the city, well.
Our share.
It's a 75% grant, for right off the ODNR part, we'd be a 75%, and I believe the early numbers was 629, but again, that has that plumbing issue in it too with the sewer. So that being a part of that, again, that can be,
If you could ballpark a little bit of that, so that way we kind of know what the cut would be down to.
80 grand, 70 maybe, I'm guessing, 70,000?
80 grand?
Yeah, 70, 80,000.
That would be, of the 100 that we would, of our 25%?
Yeah, I would say, to be, and that may be
So you're not
high.
looking at a big dollar
No.
amount for the rest of, that would hit master capital? Or
No.
general fund or
No.
anything?
No,
Most of it would be from
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But you'd wanna take the part for the bathrooms out of the, sewer.
Oh, absolutely. And we take 100% of that fee out of that for sure.
That is definitely a need, is a bathroom there, that's for sure. I didn't know that was part of the
Yeah.
project.
That's what we, and that's really one of the, and again, here's the thing, just like you guys all know, that's just the first grant we're gonna go for. Everybody knows from the south side that sat here 8 years ago, that's the first one, right? So then you go after Nature Works, cause they'll do restrooms. On those skate park, we got 16,000. It was only 16,000. So then you go for, they'll go up to 35,000 for that. So this is just the first one. So that's the initial, yeah, that initial money is, this looks like that. But we're not done shaking the trees.
No.
We never have been. So, I mean, that's just the worst case scenario is that number.
And you're saying 2 years out?
Yes. And we're gonna continue to shake those trees and try to, see if
And
it
you're
can.
saying that, and this one will pay for restrooms?
I'm sorry.
This one will pay for
Yeah,
restrooms, or
start
you
the
said the
grant,
Clean
yeah.
Ohio
Yeah,
pays
well,
for
you
it?
add on to it also, it's part of the pay, and then this will do also, and then you just go out to go for also the other ones that, that can also help pay for that stuff.
Well,
There's more than just one grant that'll do restrooms.
Well, that makes me feel a lot more comfortable, especially knowing it's 2 years away too.
Yeah.
I was thinking this year and I'm like.
No, we're a ways away, we're just like the South Side Park is gonna take time and we're just keep going down that road, that's all.
But for this grant, we have to obligate the whole amount, right?
Obligate the whole
Well, it
amount.
says in the legislation, we have to obligate the funds.
Yeah, that, of course, they want to see that, you know what I mean, before they commit to you. Just like anybody would, because if someone else is going after it, I would just like someone else getting it and they have no funds sitting there and they get awarded it and had no opportunity, no chance to get that grant. It's not fair to anybody else to award it to me and then you have the money, you're sitting there waiting for it and it's not there. So I'm sure that's the main reason why that
You
is.
do need this passed tonight, so.
Yeah, well, and that's only because it came to us, I shouldn't say anything, it didn't come to us, it didn't come to the mayor late or anything. But him being out, and it didn't get on the last, I don't think the mayor was made aware of it, but we do have to have it in, on Thursday. As a matter of fact, he's gonna sign it Wednesday when he comes and send it Wednesday night when he comes in.
Mr. Rippeth, you have any comments or questions?
I do not. You allayed my fears with the 26.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any questions, but I do have some comments. As president of the Newfield Youth Baseball program, working closely with the softball program to make the waterworks look nice again. This is a huge, anybody that comes to the waterworks, they complain about the restrooms. And if you go there from May 1st to the end of June, that place is packed with cars of, all the baseball fields are packed. And I know as far as the youth softball and youth baseball program, we're gonna work towards the same goals, so, I think it'd be great for that park and the playing with the restrooms in that building and, kind of work towards that as a community. I think it'd be great.
Yes,
So, one quick question. Okay, so this isn't till 2026, but we have to turn in the grant Thursday, so we have to show them we have the money now, right?
I don't know what the preliminary, what they'll ask for after that. I think they're just asking for legislation to be passed.
Right
They won't
now,
ask,
yeah.
they won't ask for that, if
It probably won't come back till next
no,
year.
you'll see something that comes back then later,
This is
that's
just to
signed by
approve
the
mayor.
auditor.
The
Yeah,
mayor
this is
will
just
apply.
that
To
piece.
apply for it.
You won't have to, because you'll have to, what typically happens with grants, not typically every time, is there'll be another piece of paper that comes when it's, okay, you guys got the thumbs up. They'll get a paper
That
from
will
the
have to
mayor,
pass
and they'll
that.
get a paper from Beth stating the line item and where it's gonna come from. But that may be a year from now before that paperwork comes, if we were able to get it. No, we're not having to send anything with that saying line item 711, 114, 5200 is where this is coming from on Thursday. No, that is not.
Thank you. Anybody else on council have any comments or questions?
I had a comment similar to Mitch. I love that this benefits other ways than just a trailhead. Our youth baseball field, you know, that's huge. Like Mitch said, there's just kids galore all summer, so that's where I like it even more. I mean, obviously, it's good for the boat ramp, good for the skate park, everything, and it's much needed there. And hopefully in the future, we get one by the soccer fields on the south side and Pee Wee football fields too.
Yeah, as you know, right now, we got grants out there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Frymer. Seeing any other questions from administration or guests or anything? Not seeing none. Is there any action to be taken on this?
I would move that we put it on tonight's agenda and ask for suspension of rules to pass it on first reading.
Do we have a second? I'll second that. And we'll take a vote. Mr. Ripper?
Yes.
I vote yes also. Mrs. Ramos?
Yes,
And we vote 3-0. We're gonna have it put on tonight's agenda and ask for council to suspend the rules so we can pass it on first reading. Anything else to come before committee?
What,
What, oh, sorry.
I didn't have the ordinance number with me, I'm sorry.
What is it right there, Ron? You got it right in front of you?
So, I did, and I just shuffled it.
5/20/24.
ordinance 5?
Ordinance 5.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, we already had ordinance.
Resolution.
Resolution.
Resolution 5, okay.
Resolution. Okay.
Sorry, I had it written down.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, sorry.
So moved.
So moved. Mrs. Ramos. Thank you at 6:57.
Okay, you're on.
Cheryl.
Okay.
Are we starting early?
Ready?
Going to call to order our special and contact committee, beginning at 6:58 on March 11th. Take roll call. Cheryl?
Here,
Tom is excused. Alternate is Mitch,
Here.
and I am here. So our purpose tonight, we got a few ordinances we need to go over. First one is ordinance number 4, 2024, which amended ordinance 141, repealing section 14104, mandating a creation of special police office unit consisting of retired officers. We were trying, it was proposed that we remove that. We tabled that the last meeting, and based on Mr. Popham's comments that we are still using that, I would like to table that permanently. Is there any concerns with
since we're
that?
still using it,
Correct. Is it, Mr. Law Director, is it
You
better?
don't need to table it, you can just take no action on it. and
we
if
just don't
it's
take
no
any action on it.
Okay, so we'll just take no action. Mitch, do you have questions?
I was just gonna ask him what he just answered, so you must've been reading my mind.
So we'll just take no action on that then, and be done with that one. Next one will be ordinance 7, 2024, amend ordinance 145.02. Current ordinance does not reflect updated city departments. The last meeting, Cheryl had numerous questions, and Mr. Matthias answered those questions for her. So is there any other conversation on that? No?
I think Since you tabled it last meeting, we have to have 2/3 take it off the table.
Okay?
So I move that we take that off the table.
Okay,
Any second?
I'll second that, yes.
okay. And so.
And I vote yes.
Okay, we'll vote. Take a vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes also, so we'll remove that from the table, with 3 yes votes. Is there any other action on that?
I move that, we add, ordinance 7/2024 to tonight's agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. Take a vote, Cheryl?
Yes.
Mitch?
Yes.
I'll vote yes also, so we will move ordinance 7/2024 to tonight's agenda, for its first reading. Next up is ordinance 8/2024. Amend ordinance 16601. This ordinance does not reflect current duties of the city's building inspector. We had a lot of questions on that one also, that Mr. Matthias also answered those. Is there any other questions or concerns on that one?
I think it was correct the way it was written.
Okay.
Right? No changes. He
Okay.
didn't suggest any changes. I
Is
don't
there-
recall that.
Is there any action on that then for this evening?
I just want to make a comment.
Yep.
Mr. Mathias, thank you for clarifying all that
Yes.
for us. Really appreciate it.
Yes, he does.
It's
Oh,
easier
there you
to
are.
ask questions.
Is there any action on this one then?
I move that we take it off the table.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. Take a vote to remove ordinance 8/2024 from the table. Cheryl?
Yes.
Mitch?
Yes.
And I vote yes also, so we got 3 yes, no, to 0 to remove it from the table. Is there any other action on, ordinance 8/2024?
I move that, we add ordinance 8/2024 to the agenda.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Take a vote. Cheryl?
Yes.
Mitch?
Yes.
And I vote yes also, so we will be moving ordinance 8/2024 to tonight's agenda for its first reading. Last one we have is ordinance 12/2024. This is a new one, purpose to amend chapter 901 of the codified ordinance. This will update the language, increase the excavation permit, which is currently $20, passed in 2017, and the curb cutting permit fees, which are currently $20, and that was passed in 2019. The amendment is, wants to move these to $40. Any questions or concerns on that one?
Just a question for Mr. McAbeer.
Yes, sir.
On the, on that increase, that just standard for.
Yeah,
paperwork,
standard,
that kind
plus
of
they
stuff?
match, in the ordinance, it was 2 different ones, was like, okay, let's just
Okay.
match them up. And there was some, and I'm trying to find it, I don't know how I lost that there. There's some language change in that also, wasn't there, Marvin?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of the other reasons for that. Yeah, I'm sorry, do you have? Yeah, please, because so I can go over that, I apologize. I couldn't find it in my packet here. But if everybody looks at that, what's being cleared up in that is the, anything in our right-of-way versus, well, go ahead. Josh, go ahead, you wanna talk about it?
This is 901.
Yes.
We decided to look into that because it's, the old ordinance specifically states street excavations, which a lot of work is actually done in the right of way. And most cities have right of way permits. This is why I brought it up to service director to try to, we're trying to modernize a lot of stuff. And that was just another thing I brought up to them, that they were in agreement that we could, move forward going that route.
Yeah, and it just makes it easier, for if anybody comes in and does any work, just as long as they're in that right of way, just fill out a permit for it. Because we was going, well, where are you gonna be? Because if it got behind the curb or something in that, or, between that little strip, the grass strip, was no excavation. Now it's just, gonna be digging. And what happens with that legislation, if you read it, we now have a database. If you get a ditch that says, man, who did this? Now we know who did it, and that, they're also on the hook to say, you gotta come out and fix it. So we got a database, it goes to general services also. So if they get something in the evening or sometime on the weekends, they know the person to talk, it's not us that goes out and has to maintain that. So they have to maintain it, plus it gives us just that avenue. Anything in the right of way now will be a permit. We've got, Dominion's already hooked up with us, they're doing everything correctly. We're just trying to get everybody else is doing something in our right of way, their permit fee. Everybody around the state of Ohio for the 88 counties, about 82 of them's doing it exactly the way we want to try to do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other questions on it? No? Any action we want to take on ordinance 12, 2024 this evening?
I move that we add ordinance 12, 2024 to the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. Take a vote. Cheryl?
Yes.
Mitch?
Yes.
And I vote yes also, so we will be moving ordinance 12, 2024 to tonight's agenda for its first reading also. And then the last thing we have for this evening is DORA. Don't really have a lot because we're still in, gathering information on this and getting caught up to speed on it, but I would like to schedule a public meeting based on some other council members that I've met with, and some other people that I've met with. We think it's a good idea to just have an hour-long meeting, give people about 5 minutes to express their concerns or opinions. I would like to do that either next Monday, March 18th, or next Tuesday, March 19th. Yep.
I'm not available either
Okay.
because next Tuesday is a primary and I work the election
Oh,
polls.
okay. I forgot about that, so, all right, is there a better time for you then? Wednesdays are out for me.
Does it have to be next week?
No, nope, it'll be the week after. I'm trying to do it on a non-council night.
Right,
Right.
which is great.
Yep. The Tuesday after that then,
Yeah.
okay? Do we know that date?
Just one second.
Yep.
Okay, so not next week, the week after, so
Yep.
Tuesday, the 26th.
26th. Okay. So we'll schedule, what time, Cheryl? 6 or 7?
7.
7, okay?
It's spring break, people will be on vacation.
Oh, that's right,
week
it is
after?
spring break. We're on spring break.
How about next Thursday or something?
Okay, next
Yeah,
Thursday?
Finance meeting.
Or it can be after,
That was gonna do
spring
it on
break.
This Thursday.
That's this
It's
Thursday.
this Thursday, not next Thursday.
This Thursday?
No, this Thursday is, we already
Oh,
have.
yeah.
one.
We
Next
already
Thursday's
have a
open.
meeting this
But next
Thursday.
Thursday.
The 21st?
No, that's when they're saying it's spring
No,
break.
that's the week
The
after.
following week.
Oh, that's right, it is week after.
We can do that.
The 21st at 7?
Let's have the council members.
I should be.
I just have a question. I think a lot of the folks that are here tonight are here on behalf of the, whether they're for it or against DORA. I know we only have about 20 minutes roughly,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you kind of want to open the floor for comments
That was the plan
tonight.
as soon as we got this scheduled, so.
Oh, okay.
Or tonight, they're here, they can speak at the public comment.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going with what?
March
what
21st, Thursday, March 21st at 7 o'clock?
Oh, I can't do March, my son's in play.
Can we,
Well, I think we can figure out the meeting outside of the meeting. As far, and then we can send it out to everybody
Okay.
here that would like to attend.
Okay,
Just because we're
okay,
hashing out dates and everybody might not have their calendar ready. And we,
all right.
Mr. Simmeling's not here,
So,
the mayor's not
Good
here.
idea.
public meeting will be announced once we figure out a time. So we will open up, is there anybody from the public that has anything to say about DORA? Come to the podium, state your name and address.
You go first. No, take your time. You know I like the microphone, so. Okay, I'm Lacey Herbert Stephen, owner of Lacey Performing Arts Center and the Adaptive Movement Center, both downtown New Philly. I am interested to learn more about Dora as I've dove into it and read and also spoke with friends that live in different counties that do have Dora. I have found that they do have little to no crime when Dora is around. My sister, she is lives in Dover. She is a frequent flyer at First Friday in Canton. So her and her friends from Dover and New Philly, they will schedule girls' nights around First Friday, and then they all drive up all the way to Stark County, and they do go and they enjoy it. Like I said, there's little to no crime. This being said, I'm not 100% sold on Dora in our small area. We are not Canton, we are not Akron, but neither is Coshocton, and they use it. They have found little to no crime either with that, and I know that's been a big thing. The thing that I look at is I am a downtown business owner who opened up a special needs facility beside bars. Who would open up a special needs facility beside 4 bars? That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? I have wheelchairs, I have kids in walkers, I have kids that have to be helped into the facility. It's not the most adequate or smart area you would think for it to be, but it is for their parents. Their parents enjoy it. Their parents get to go and take reprieve and enjoy dinner and enjoy a drink that they might not get to do with their special needs child. So with that being said, to me, we're looking at this as in it could be a bad thing, but we don't know until we try it. Same with me with the special needs facility. I didn't know until I tried it, and we're flourishing, we're growing, it's wonderful. Our bars are supporting us. They, you know, I go to them with ideas, I go to Gavin's with ideas and say, hey, let's do X, Y, and Z. Yes, let's talk more about it. To me, I think that I agree that a lot of citizens are not gonna like open container. There's already people with open container on our streets that are not allowed to have it, that should not be doing it. So what if we had responsible, respectful business people, people coming from other counties to spend their money here, to frequent a festival or something going on at J&G or whatever. And sorry, I get all red when I hate public speaking. But regardless, you're gonna bring different people into the area. And it's not gonna affect me because I work in it is gonna affect me, I'm sorry. I work with children at night. So do I think it should be Monday through Sunday? Absolutely not, and I will fight that till the bare bone. I have children and special needs kids that are in and out of these streets and alleys Monday through Thursday from 4 until 9, and they deserve to be safe. Do I think that they're safe all the times? No, because guess what? Even if it's open, not open container, you still got idiots in the bars drinking until they're halfway blind and driving home. We can't be ignorant. We know that. A lot of you, 75, 95% of you, have done it before. I mean, that's common knowledge, whether you were 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So regardless, it's not safe anytime crossing the streets, walking around. Now, if we put a nice limit on it where it is maybe a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 4, or festivals, or a first Saturday instead of a first Friday to bring people from Stark County down to us and not just us leaving here to go there, we could work together, I think, on something like that. The only other thing that I think that we need to really look at is we have a lot of beautiful, local, wonderfully set up bars that I really respect the owners of and that have truly welcomed me and other businesses in with open arms and would do anything for us. So the only thing that I think my true thing would be is making sure that the times are legit. I don't think 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 9 a.m. to midnight is a smart thing to do, open container, walking around. But if we're doing it logically and we're working together to come up with the limitations that are safe, we don't know until we try if it's going to be a good thing or not, and we can always cancel it. I mean, so why not? Same thing with the special needs facility. Stupid. Get them out of here. Not safe. Can't have handicapped walking around all over the place on Thursday nights during wing night. We're open on Thursday nights and we do just fine. Not one thing has happened. So I think that if we go in with an open mind, no, nobody wants to see open containers and somebody getting hurt. But it's very little, okay, I can't say that, but hopefully it's very little to none that would cause any issues. And if so, we come right back, we nip it in the ASS, and we cancel it. Done. It's that easy, right? Because we can cancel Dora at any time. So I think we try it. I think, to me, it's a smart business decision. I think also that if we make sure that we hear the bar owners out, and if they say, hey, we want to be the only people that are the ones holding the Dora cups. We don't want to have any other way where somebody else can have come in with a festival or something and say, hey, we're going to have a beer garden, or we're going to have a liquor license given to them at certain times. Absolutely not. You have 6 bars in the exact amount of area that you're trying to get this. Let them make that money. Let those people from other areas come in, see these beautiful bars that we do have with delicious food. Let the downtown business owners make their money. And then let's go around, talk to the people that own businesses and say, hey, you should be open during these days. Do something with the dance studio. Do something with Alley Cats. Do something with the winery. With Mustards. Do something with the tattoo parlors. Do specials. Make it a good thing where it's controlled and hopefully worked on together, rather than a negative when we don't even know the outcome of it because we've never even tried it. So we can say all the bad things we want about it, but we don't know until we try it. So I think if you hear the bars out, you give that public speaker, that day where everybody can come talk. But as far as being a owner that works with children every day and the special needs community, I do think that it's not a horrible idea, but I would like to see limited times.
Thank you.
Thanks. Did you use your phone? Get up here.
Mr. Chairman, can I say something real quick? So there is a lot of research, like I emailed people. Worcester's DORA application is 70 pages long. I'm in the process of getting copies of others. You've seen some of them. It's a pretty complicated process. Takes about some communities a year to get in gear. So there's a lot of research to be done, and I'm glad, Lacey, you did research. That's great. So I just wanted to jump in there.
Can we, for 5 minutes, give them 5 minutes?
Try to keep it 5 minutes.
I know, out of respect.
It won't take me that long. My name's Don Whittingham. I'm an art supporter, business owner, and love New Philadelphia community.
I just recorded it.
So I don't know what the fear is. Fundamentally, DORA has been sanctioned by the Ohio legislature. They voted it in. It is law. It's just an option for us to agree on and then bring it in. They would not have allowed this type of program to happen if they didn't feel that it was manageable and safe for communities around Ohio. So fundamentally, we have the support of our Ohio state government behind this. It's just that the communities have to decide whether or not they would like to take advantage of this dynamic program. So a lot of the communities that already have DORA are communities I like to go and hang out in. Akron, Cleveland, Columbus, Worthington, Bexley, Chillicothe, Roscoe Village, pretty family-oriented. Grove City, Marietta, Lancaster, Massillon, Minerva, Newark, Oxford, Zanesville, Lorraine. Did I mention Worcester? Somebody else may have. These are all communities that we should be aspiring to become similar to them, with dynamic downtowns, with art, music offerings, bar, restaurant offerings. This is what life's about. That's what makes a livable city. As an investor, and others in the room, we invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into the downtown to try to foster this type of livable community. And we want to continue to do that. I'd like to do more investment downtown, but we're watching kind of what the support is going to be from city council on programs like this. Personally, I don't think any bar owner is going to get rich on this. I think it's going to be nice to have a refreshment when there's a car show downtown and we can kind of stroll along on a summer evening and have a nice drink and look at the cars, or things like that. Another bar owner I talked to felt the same way. He didn't think it was going to be a big money maker. It costs $1 a cup, etc. But the effect we're looking for is the dynamic effect where it's a boomerang, where you have a festival or two or an evening with some DORA-type related activities, and the community becomes known as a a more livable city, and they're attracted here. That's where we get the dinners and the beer and the wine and so forth. That's where the actual encouragement is. It isn't on the dollar cup. I did some research on Google. I found no negative on Dora, found a lot of positive. Economic vitality of downtowns, more livable downtowns. Here's an article in Sydney, a town north of Dayton's, just about our size. No negative issues caused by Dora. All of the boogeymen did not appear. We're not going to have any issue with Dora with more alcohol and drug. Those problems exist, and any family, friends all know we've been impacted by drugs and alcohol. Dora is not going to open up any major doors on that. That's just not going to happen. We have issues right now. As far as drunken mobs downtown, no, this will be managed. There's specific areas, hours, like Lacey pointed out. You can always revoke it. So it's not going to be the zombie apocalypse that everybody makes it out to be. This is a very progressive program. We need to enact it. We need to keep New Philly heading in the right direction. We want to be progressive. We want to be a more livable city. So I'm behind it, and I don't think I really have much else to say. So thanks for your time, because I probably won't be able to make the other meetings you were talking about. Who's that?
You don't want me to talk about it. Okay. See, at least I've recruited your friends.
As I know Dora throughout these past years of being involved with downtown development.
State your name, Diane.
Sure. Diane Lautenschlager, New Philadelphia resident, and member of the NPAC Steering Committee. But as I know Dora throughout the last 12 years of research in downtown community development, it's a well-known tool that Heritage Ohio recommends for communities. I don't like hearing the terms as far as referring to Dora as open container. I think an open container calls to mind that somebody's walking around downtown with their open six-pack of Bud Light. I mean, that's not the case at all. It is the matter of an individual going into an approved establishment that's participating. They're purchasing their specific cup. They have the ability to walk around, to shop downtown with their cup that they've purchased. The proceeds from the purchase of that cup will be utilized for an organization who supports our community's veterans. But anyway, you've got your cup, right? And you're not going to walk into another bar to purchase another cup of your drink until that first one is consumed. The cup has been tossed away into one of our downtown artfully decorated trash cans. So we're not going to be seeing trash strewn about, nor are we going to see people truly walking around with an open container of what one might consider to be a can or a bottle of alcohol. But Dora simply brings about the idea to a community that you are looking at making sure that you are creating an atmosphere that does support the arts, that you are progressive in your thinking, that you have a strong quality of life, shopping and recreation for your community. You know, it's so interesting to me. Years back, I worked through the Tuscarawas Arts Partnership when Tuscarawas County was going through the arts feasibility study. And in that study, we learned that of people that are looking to relocate, 60% of people look to relocate in a community that has an opera. Of that percentage of people, only 11% will ever go to the opera, but they want to live in that community because they know that there is a strong quality of life, that there is a visionary thinking, that it's active and vibrant. I think the same can be said for a community that does offer that ability for Dora. I've taken to enjoying going to downtown Worcester on Saturday afternoons. Worcester has a Dora, and yet I've never seen anybody walking around with that cup, that purchase cup, but yet the shops are full. The entrepreneurs are thriving in that community. The restaurants are full. Parking is parked up. And I just see that vision for downtown New Philadelphia. And I believe in you as leaders. I love the fact that you're doing your due diligence, that you are researching, that you are being very thoughtful. And I hope at the end of the day that you realize that while you have tremendous responsibility on your shoulders, that the ultimate outcome to enact the DORA will be that you have acted progressively and you've acted in a way that is responsible and will create really economic vitality to your downtown. So, thank you.
Maybe one more?
Yeah, we got time for one more short one.
I mean, then if they want to stick around for council comments, they can do that as well.
We can stick around till 7:30 and then come.
Dale Burke, 1003 Ray Avenue Northeast. I've been there a couple times before, and anybody who's read the papers knows that I'm not for the Dora project at all. We have a family-oriented community here with Trump in the land, our gem to the north, which is Tuscarora Park, Schönbrunn Village, Miller's Creamery. Everything that draws people to this area is family-oriented stuff. And I cannot see any reason to not put our energies towards increasing that atmosphere in our city. I don't know who to give this to, but I have 174 signatures on these papers of business owners, ministers, residents, and people who travel into this city to do business that say they don't want no part of the door in this city. So I don't know.
Give it to
Mike, do you want?
Mike?
That's a welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else to come before this committee? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Adjourn at 7:27.
Hey, Steve. gentlemen. This meeting of New Philadelphia City Council will now come to order. Would you please rise and remain standing for the invocation and pledge of allegiance? Mr. Ribbeth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would you please join me in prayer? Almighty Heavenly Father, I just want to give you thanks and praise for all your mighty works, Lord. Thank you for just creating, sustaining us day by day, and just always being a part of our lives. Thank you for the abundant blessings that you brought on us and on this beautiful city of ours. Lord, I thank you for our safety personnel, our service personnel, and all of the civil servants that so humbly and so honestly serve this great city. Pray that you would help them to acknowledge their call to serve the citizens of New Philadelphia and do that to their greatest ability. Lord, I ask a hedge of protection against any kind of harm for all of those people who are working for the city. I would pray, Lord, that this council meeting tonight, that you would bless us with your grace and civility to do the business that we have to do. Help us, Lord, to have the wisdom to make good decisions and to guide this city into the future. We ask all of these things in the precious name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of America
and
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Welcome everybody here this evening, and to those that are watching by streaming, we'll start off with the roll call.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Here.
Mr. Lanzer.
Present.
Mr. Pace.
Present.
Mrs. Ramos.
Here.
Mr. Rippeth.
Present.
Mr. Similink. Mr. Walker.
Here. Let it be known that Mr. Similink and Mrs. Gundy are excused from our council meeting this evening. Everybody's had a chance to review the agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda? Mr. Popham,
I would like to ask for an executive session at the end of council, please.
do I have a motion?
Personnel reasons.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Walker. In discussion, roll call.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
All right, now, any other additions? Mr. Lanzer,
Yes, I asked that we add proposed resolution 5, 2024 to tonight's agenda.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, other additions. Mr. Walker.
Yes, I need to, should I do them all one at a time, or
Take-
do them all at the same time? All right. Need to add ordinance 7, 2024, 8, 2024, and 12, 2024 to tonight's agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pace. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
All right, any other additions? All right, I entertain a motion now to approve the agenda with our additions.
I'll make that motion,
All right,
Mr. President.
I'll second that, Mr.
Thank you, Mr.
President.
Ribbon. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, our agenda has been approved for this evening. Minutes, everybody's had a chance to review the minutes from our last council meeting. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Lanza for running the council meeting in my absence last meeting. And so, has anybody got any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve.
Make motion.
All right, Mr. Granville, need a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ramos, thank you. Any discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, minutes have been approved. Correspondence, Ms. Courtwright.
To council and administration, from Executive Administrative Assistant to the Mayor, Jamie Bailey, dated February 29th, 2024. This is the Mayor's Office end-of-month report for February of 2024. To council and administration, from Law Director Fate, dated February 29th, 2024. This is an email titled City of New Philadelphia versus Singh Sukhjinder. To council and administration from Income Tax Administrator for the city, Carly Luce, dated March 1st, 2024. This is the February month-end report. To council and administration from Heather Denham with the Auditor's Office, dated March 4th, 2024. This is the statement of cash position from revenue and expense and the expense report with encumbrance details for February of 2024. To Councilman Lonzer from President Kemp, dated March 8th, 2024. This is an email titled ODNR Recreational Trails and ODNR Clean Ohio Trails Announcement with a sample resolution and a letter of support. Mr. Kemp asked Mr. Lonzer to take this issue into his committee for consideration. To Council Clerk from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, dated March 5th, 2024. This is a Class B liquor license request from Sarai Petroleum LLC, located at 1219 East High Avenue. Responses must be postmarked no later than April 5th, 2024. I emailed this notice to President Kemp to place it in the proper committee. To council and administration from Court Administrator Judy Ziegel, dated March 8th, 2024. This is the New Philadelphia Municipal Court 2023 Annual Report. To council and administration from Mayor Day, dated March 8th, 2024. This is an email titled Out of Office, Sunday, March 10th, returning the evening of March 13th. Mayor Day stated that he's attending the National Association of Development Organizations and the Development District Association of Appalachia, Washington Conference. To Council Clerk from Treasurer Gerber, dated March 11th, 2024. This is the City of New Philadelphia Investment and Savings Report. And to Council and Administration from Mayor Day, dated March 11th, 2024, the Mayor's Report. And that concludes correspondence for this evening, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Ms. Courtwright. We'll move into our administrative reports. The mayor's not here. We'll move on to the service director, Mr. McAbeer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. A few things I'd like to touch base on. If I reported before, the ODNR grant for the Roswell Trail, as we know, they had to do a few other things there before we got the official letter. We did get the official letter, so that funding will be available. Again, that trail starts at Hillendale and goes out to 39, $650,600 to start phase one. Again, that'll be at least 3 phases. That gets us about 1.25 miles. Again, it gets us out to 39 right there. So that was official finally, so we're moving ahead with that. It's probably a project that looks like mid-25, I'm gonna guess, probably before we would get started on that. And that'll be a hard surface trail, so it'll be multi-surface. That'll be a blacktop trail. Also tomorrow, we will open our CDBG project, Community Block Grant, which for some of the new folks here, new council folks, that's a grant that we get every 2 years. It's $150,000. It goes for curbs and sidewalk improvements in LMI eligible areas. That'll be open tomorrow. And again, as I reported before, we're gonna start on College, and so we'll do College Avenue, and we'll be able to go down 11th Street some also with that money. And again, my plan is to go from there all the way to Maple Avenue as the years progress and try to revitalize that area, all the way from Tuscarawas Avenue down to 12th Street, College, over to Maple Avenue. So again, there's five plan holders, had picked up packets, so we'll see what we get in on bids tomorrow. Also, today, Superintendent Fulton and I had met with Benchmark out at the restrooms, the Al Maloney Midway. They're geared up to start phase 2. Phase 1 is the interior. It is completed. Again, I urge everybody to go out there if they can to see that. But now we have the stone siding is going to go on. Also they got some siding and the new steel roof and that extension that we put on there. Also, we'll thank the Park Foundation because they had offered to pay for some new concrete out front. So if you come in now with that restroom, it's blacktop and it's got some hooves to it because of the roots that have come through there. That's all gonna be tore out. And again, the Park Foundation has been kind enough to donate to that project. So you'll see all that will tie into the new concrete that we put in for the pickleball courts So they'll do that all at one, when you do the fresh concrete for the roof extension, they'll also do that. So that project, they look to be done here in the next 5 weeks on that, just in time for, everything going on out there, as you can imagine. Also, with the mayor's report, I believe the email that had come out, he had asked and urged council to pass ordinance 9/2024 tonight. It's all that in the wording. He wanted me to make sure that I brought that up also. Again, it's just to rezone. We don't have to sell anything tomorrow. And we'll have that conversation. We can have that conversation of what we want to sell a year from now if we want to. All that's doing is rezoning it. So I know he'd want me to ask that, and so that's what I've done. That's in my report.
Any questions for Mr. McAbeer? Chris?
The stadium, I saw they were, and Mitch, I don't know which one, but like the stadium, the bleachers, do you have an update on that at all?
I
What
do
they're doing?
not.
I know the school's pretty much doing.
Yeah, they haven't come back with anything solid, but you know what, let me, I will report on that next time, I will for sure. 'Cause that's still our building, so I know that there was some preliminary stuff going out there yet, so I will report on that, I appreciate that.
They definitely were doing work there today.
Yeah.
They started some stuff.
Well, I know they was peeling everything off right now, and they gotta get I can't think right now. The seats gotta be pulled out, and then all the sheeting off the sides are gonna come down. I think they're trying to do that prior to.
Got it.
All the bleachers, there's the word I was looking for. The bleachers gotta come out of there, and they're trying to get that ahead of everything. But I will make sure of that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, thanks. Safety Director, Mr. Popham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. One item this evening, at the end of shift, Friday, March 1st, Officer Jenna Dugan resigned and has moved on to Jackson Township in the police department. That's all I have.
All right, any questions for Mr. Popham? Let's see, Mr. Gunny is not here tonight. Mr. Gerber, Treasurer's Report. No reports. All right, thank you. Law Director, Mr. Fate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to sit down for part of this because I have a lot of paperwork, so it's
Sure.
not out of disrespect for council or you, sir. For the last couple of meetings, I didn't have a report, and that's because I've been very busy with the lawsuit that I filed. Our clerk did a better job of pronouncing this gentleman's name, so I'm not going to try to butcher it. I'm going to just refer to it as the former fuel depot, the owner of the former fuel depot. What's at issue is codified ordinance 1167.07, specifically section C. This deals with special regulations for gas stations. Section C states, "The owner or occupant of any gasoline station which becomes vacant and remains vacant for a period of 90 days shall, at the discretion of the fire chief and the director of public safety, either remove all storage tanks or fill the storage tanks with the appropriate substance. Notice to remove or fill such storage tanks shall be given by certified mail to the owner or the occupant of the premises, and such work shall be completed within 30 days of notification." The former fuel depot has been closed officially since 2020. The current owner came into ownership of it in 2022. We have tried to work with him to comply with our ordinance, and that has been to no avail. We were told when he initially bought it, we informed him of notices that we had sent to the prior owners that it needed to be corrected and that they needed to comply with our ordinance. And he assured us that it was going to be open within a matter of months. That was in 2022. And here we are, and nothing's been done. After that, our ordinance allows us to impose fines on him. These are civil fines, they're not criminal fines. And we have imposed civil fines on him in the hope of getting him to move on this. Because I have no desire to sue somebody. I have no desire to go after somebody financially. But I do have an obligation to enforce our ordinances. And I don't like it when somebody's gonna jerk us around and ignore our ordinances. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. So to that end, his fines are currently up to $105,000. I believe it's more than that at this point, because this was filed last month. I did check the docket today. He was served with the paperwork on March 6th. So he's been served with what I filed. What I have filed, to explain it to you, is seeking a declaratory judgment and injunctive relief. That is where I am asking the court to, one, acknowledge that he is in violation of our codified ordinance, and order him to comply with it, and to impose the fines that I have a judgment entry that I can collect on. I regret that we had to take this step, but I really didn't see any other recourse. We've been told multiple times by this gentleman that we've heard everything from their opening within a matter of months to he's got a contract with BP that's coming in. We've asked to see that contract, haven't seen it. I want to acknowledge the work that Captain Schultz has done on this. He's done a phenomenal job. He and I have worked very closely. I asked an awful lot of him in preparation for this lawsuit, and he really came through for us. So we're going to let it play out in court, but that's what my position is, and that's why I brought the lawsuit. And I feel that we're going to be successful because I think the ordinance is very clear. Is there any questions about any of this?
That's the fuel depot on East
East High
High.
Avenue,
Okay.
correct.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Marvin. All right, move into our board commission reports. Planning Commission, I know Joel's not here. Ron?
I can answer that. With Wendy Moeller, she's gonna come in and got rescheduled for next Tuesday at 2 p.m. here in council chambers. And also, for those that cannot make it, I'm gonna get Larry to tape it, because I know that Councilman Ramos would like to have it. So we're gonna do that. It'll be available after that meeting. But again, tomorrow's meeting has been canceled and moved till the following Tuesday, the 19th at 2 p.m. here in council chambers.
All right. Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. McAbeer.
The Board of Zoning Appeals for tomorrow at 5 p.m. here in council chambers with no variance requests to be heard will also be canceled.
All right. Airport Commission, Mr. Lanzer.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Airport Commissioner will be meeting tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. at Airport Meeting Room at the airport.
Nice.
All right. Park Board, Mr. Pace.
Thank you, Mr. President. No formal report, just a couple updates. The Field 1 project at Tuscarora Park, the fence is complete. And then the batting cages that are also coming down at this time, that hopefully is done by the end of the week, I think, Mac?
Well, I talked to Damien, he's struggling with how to get that out of there before tearing too much stuff
It's a
up.
lot of concrete.
Yeah, if anybody's seen it out there, it's a mouthful.
So they're working on that,
Yeah.
not sure the timetable. And then the Field 1 committee will run a 16-foot high black fence from the foul pole to the first base dugout, kind of to protect the park there. And then, down to the soccer fields by Councilman Kreinbauer, I think he's got his dugouts done.
Yep.
And working through that project down there, so. Haven't got a chance to take a look at it, go down and take a look at it, looks really nice, so. It's just a quick update from the park
If you
chairman.
want more updates, and give more.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, obviously, Wood Electric's hoping to be down there Thursday, because we're hoping the ground dries out enough to put up the netting that needs to go on the horse side. Riddle Construction is scheduled for the second or third week of April to do the handicap parking and walkway in. And so that should all be done by the end of April. And then we are going to pull the bleachers out, put concrete, that'll be done at the same time. Pull the bleachers out, put the concrete in for new bleachers that, because of, we've been very successful raising funds, may go in this year yet. So that's the update on that.
Thank
But
you.
it looks really good if people haven't been down there, because I know no one really good down there. It's coming along real nice.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pace. All right, Health Board, I know Tom's not here this evening. I know they're meeting this week as well. Will they be Thursday at noon? Wednesday at noon. All right, we went to our council committee reports. Finance, Mr. Rippeth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no formal report tonight, but we will be holding a finance committee meeting Thursday night, 6:30 here in council chambers, where we can discuss the budget and a couple of other items.
That's this Thursday, correct?
This Thursday.
All right. Public Works and Economic Development, Mr. Lonzo.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Works and Economic Development Committee met this evening at 6:45. We had one item on to discuss, and that was proposed Resolution 5, which is an ODNR grant application, which involves a trail project down at the waterworks and restrooms and that type. It was voted unanimously to put it on tonight's agenda, and we're asking council to suspend the rules and pass it on the first reading.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lonzo. Safety, Health, and Service, Tom's not here this evening. Zoning and Annexation, ATM, Mr. Ramos.
AZM.
AZM. Gotta get it right.
AZ. Thank you, Mr. President, no report.
All right, Salary Committee, Mr. Granville.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening.
All right, Parks and Cemetery, Mr. Pace.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report, but the cemetery board will be meeting Thursday at 8 a.m. in council chambers.
All right. And Personal Contact and Special, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mr. President. We met this evening at 6:58. We discussed numerous ordinances, moving ordinance 7, 2024, 8, 2024, and 12, 2024 to tonight's agenda for their first readings. And we had a small discussion about DORA. We are working on setting up a public meeting once we all can agree upon a day and time. And we adjourned at 7:30.
All right, thank you. All right, visitors' comments. The floor is now open for visitors' comments. Anyone wishing to address council should rise, state your name and address, and address all comments to the chair. You will be given 5 minutes. So, who's first?
Jill White with Martinelli Pools. And this has to do with the rezoning of the parcels that you want to rezone to business from residential. So I would like to request 2 things. One, I would like to request that this be made public record, that I, Jill White of Martinelli Pools and Spas, would like to be notified about all city councils, planning commission meetings, and hearings having to do with the following 3 parcels: 43008-76000, parcel number 43071-36000, 4307281000. I request 3 to 5 days, business days, to be notified by my email, jwhitpools@gmail.com. The other thing I'd like to have is I'd like to have it read into public record what the Erie Canal property, when it was given to the city, what it was issued to be used for. Back in 1970, when we were sold the other 12-foot, we were told then, which was 54 years ago, we were told then that it could only be used for waterways and public use. I'd like to have that reread into public records. That's it.
All right, thank you. We'll investigate that. Anyone else?
Tim Seidel, 128 Allen Lane, Southeast. I just want to address the DORA situation again. As a business owner downtown, and I see many other business owners here, in the last several years, through COVID, through everything else, we've been putting a lot of time and effort into bringing people to the downtown area. And I think if you drive through downtown and you notice how many new businesses have come in to the area. I think was it 7, I think, we brought in during COVID. I'd like to, put that up against any city in America and see how they've done statistically with that. I think I'm pretty proud of what we've done. I came from Massillon, and I know that I was not aware of this, but I know that when I was there, there were a lot of things that came across city council up there, and a lot of the townsfolk were very hesitant to bring any of those things in. One of which was a casino, which was going to be put in the old Republic Steel location that was right on 21, right there at the river. The outcry from the people were, well, that's going to bring in the wrong element. That's going to bring in the wrong kind of people. I argued people with money. I don't know what's wrong with that, but and then lo and behold, Cleveland got a casino, and half of Massillon went to Cleveland to gamble their hard-earned paychecks away. So I don't understand why that was something that they couldn't have looked into a little harder. It was an inevitability at that stage, and another community benefited greatly from it. And they have 0 to no problems. I mean, statistically 0 with anybody up there causing any kind of problems that most of the people were concerned about. I'm concerned about from my business standpoint. I don't want to see a bunch of drunks running around and stumbling through downtown. And I think one thing that I would like to see is that the police department would take kind of a 0 tolerance policy. I don't want to see a bunch of cups blowing around. I don't want to see a bunch of people, acting out and doing kind of stupid things. And if we have a 0 policy where we just say, you're done, that's it. You've abused the privilege. It is a privilege. But I think that all of the issues that everybody thinks is going to happen, if there is an issue, which again, statistically, from what I've seen, it doesn't. If it's dealt with quickly and efficiently, I don't think we'll have a problem, because I think one and done. If you're going to come down and ruin it for people that want to spend their money here, you can do all kinds of things to pretty up the downtown. That's not going to bring anybody into downtown. The flower planters look nice, the gazebo's nice, and all of that stuff. It may keep people away if it's not presentable, but I don't think it does anything to bring people into town. And like I said, I came from Massillon, where they had multiple things. There was a water park, an indoor sports arena, the casino, on and on and on, and it was always, the argument was always it's going to bring in the wrong element. Well, if you had all of those things in Massillon now, it would probably be one of the most prosperous areas in Northeast Ohio. Fear was the motivator to keep it out. They ended up going other places, and those communities seem to be doing just fine. I think we need to do everything we can to bring people from outside the area into our area, and as long as it's managed, and I think Lacey said, time limits on it, day limits on it, that sort of thing, and if the police department will back us, the business owners, on this, I think it'd be a great thing, and it'll bring in a lot of money to the downtown, and that's, let's face it, that's what we're all in business for. We'd all like to run on 0 budget, but that just doesn't happen in the real world. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name's Josh Davis, 1113 12th Street Northwest. I've heard a lot of business owners talking today about the Dora project. I'm pretty opposed to it personally. I think it's important to note that however you slice it, business owners have the same one vote that I have. And so if they are able to lobby more influence simply because they have a business in the downtown, shame on you for allowing that. Secondly, I will also let you in, everybody that has said, oh, I've talked to so-and-so or thus and such, that's anecdotal evidence. I've not seen one study that proves that there is no extra crime. I've not seen one study that proves that there are no extra drunk drivers. I've not seen a single. So until you have a document that can prove these anecdotal statements, then going off of anecdote, let me give you mine. I moved to New Philadelphia 7 years ago as a newly married man to start my family in a city that felt like a family-oriented environment. At the end of the day, we're not talking about whether or not people should be allowed to drink. I think it's fine if bars want to be open. I think it's fine if people want to drink. As a parent, I don't want to take my kid to a place where there is alcohol being served or consumed because of the chance that somebody would be consuming it in excess. I don't desire that. That is not, in my opinion, a family-friendly environment. And if that is family-friendly for you, that's okay. We have different values. At the end of the day, what we're discussing here is changing the culture of the city to be more welcoming to those values. And I will say anecdotally that if that is the case, my family does not desire to live in a city that those are the values. And so I will share with you that we bought our starter home in New Philadelphia. Over the past 3 years, New Philadelphia has begun to go in a direction that as a man and a father I cannot support. And if it continues to go in that direction, then my family, we got one vote, we're just one family. This may fall on deaf ears. We're leaving, plain and simple. And as I look around the room, there's only a couple of us that are my age in here. If people my age want to leave your city, then it don't matter how much money the business owners make in the next 10 years. The city will still fail when the young people say, I don't want to take my kid to that place. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
I think so, yeah, it's a different meeting.
All right, we'll move on then. We'll move on to council comments. Any council members have comments this evening? All right, if not, we'll move on to the legislative agenda.
Ordinance number 5, 2024, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to amend ordinance 159 by repealing sections 159.02 sick leave, visit by city nurse, and 159.03 residence requirement, and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this resolution tonight? All right, hearing none, we have for our next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Ordinance number 6, 2024, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to repeal codified ordinance chapter 778, closing out and fire sales in its entirety, and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this tonight? All right, hearing none, we have for our next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Ordinance number 7, 2024, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to amend codified ordinance 145.02 to update the ordinance with the current city department names and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this ordinance tonight? All right, hearing none, we have for our next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Ordinance number 8, 2024, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to amend the city's codified ordinances for the purpose of changing the title of building inspector to code administrator and updating the duties of the same and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this ordinance tonight? All right, hearing none, we have for the next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Ordinance number 9, 2024, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to permanently rezone the following parcels in the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, from residential zone to business zone and declaring an emergency. Fourth reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council this evening? Mrs. Ramos?
I move to pass ordinance number 9, 2024.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Mr. Granville, thank you. In discussion by the community, council, administration, roll call.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
allowed to object or what?
Yes, if you have some comments to make, yes, before we vote, yes.
Okay, so I understand you just took a vote to rezone, but none of the issues that were brought up at the last meeting were discussed with all the concerns with where we go for parking, for example, or when I just asked to have the reading brought to the records then as to what the city can do with the property based on the agreement that was made back in 1970. So how can they vote on something before they have all their information?
We're just voting to rezone it. It's not up for sale,
But how does the rezoning affect the rules and stuff that was put forth in 1970?
I mean, if we do this, we'll do the research.
If somebody would present something to me, but I don't know how I would find something from 1970.
Where did you find your information from 1970?
I contacted owners that had purchased property back in 1970. He does have it, but he's in Florida and won't be back until May. So, I mean, I'll be more than welcome to go down and research all of the records that the city has to find the agreements.
Well, now that should be our job. I mean,
Mr. President?
Yes.
It's just a simple rezoning. If we end up that it can't be done, I mean, that's what we'll go back on. But I don't believe there's anything anybody's gonna find on a simple rezoning that the city or this council has done anything improperly.
But if you
Well, I'm
vote
not-
on it and it found out that it is already done, it's gonna get swept under the rug.
No,
Right.
how's that gonna happen, sir?
Well, just like
That's what I
now.
I already voted on it.
No, that's
Right.
what I asked. How's that gonna happen?
Just like
We're
now,
not gonna
over,
talk about it ever again, that's how it's
No,
gonna happen.
it's public right now.
all right.
That's my question to you.
but the same thing has happened over the last 54 years. You guys have all changed offices over the years, okay? That's what happens, and people forget that different things were already, when they were purchased or given to the city, they didn't get passed through along the paper trail. I'm asking that it be brought forward as to what the agreement was when it was given to the city in 1970. I've even given you the year.
But I agree with Ron. I mean, we're just rezoning. If something's different, if we get other information, then we
Right,
could.
then I would like it to be put in as public record, that if it comes back, that there is something that was brought forward in 1970, that this can be reversed.
That's what you're doing right now.
I'm just making sure that it's clear.
Yeah, it's crystal clear.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So I have just a simple question. What is the purpose of the rezoning behind Martinelli's Pools and South Philly Pizza? What is the big picture of this?
Mr. Mayor, I mean, it's property we really don't need. I mean, we're talking about.
That who don't need?
Yeah, state your name and address first.
Jacob Beavers. I'm with South Philly Pizza. You said that's property that you don't need, correct? It's
Well, it's property the city owns that we can sell off. I mean,
okay. So when they bought their property, however many years ago, they were given the chance to buy it. So now all of a sudden we can't buy it. You do realize that there is a third generation sitting here of South Philly Pizza that if you guys pass this and it goes to business, that they will move. We cannot conduct business there. You're going to run. It's facts. We cannot put 6 employees in our parking lot. When they bought that building, they were told they could put a structure, a shed back there. So what if we put a shed back there? Who's going to reimburse us for our shed that we were told that we're allowed to use? We've taken care of that property for 18 years. It just seems like, and I understand you guys just want to rezone. I understand that. But yeah, why couldn't we buy the backyard? I know it's law, whatever, if it's business. But since it's residential, why couldn't we buy it?
yes, Mr. Fate.
I think
Anybody can buy that if it goes to sale. By law, we can't enter into a private
So how-
sale with somebody.
Sorry to interrupt, but how could she buy her 12-foot then?
I would have to see what happened back then. Obviously, I wasn't the law director in 1970. I was 1 year old.
Right. But, so before you guys vote on this, I would like clarification on why she was able to buy her 12-foot.
I need to see what was
Right,
done
so,
back then.
so that's where I'm saying, instead of rezoning it now, when you don't have all the facts.
But by law, if we're to sell property, we can't enter into a private we
Right,
have to
but
bid that out.
we just want those answers before it's rezoned. Because
It doesn't matter what it's zoned. Anytime the city
I
wants
think
to
he
sell
thinks if
land,
it's residential, they can just buy it.
no, it's irrelevant for what.
Okay, but we would like.
It's open to anybody. Anybody can buy that land if the city decides to sell it.
I just feel like that you guys are trying to rush this along when you don't have, obviously, all the answers to our questions. This is detrimental to the business. If you guys say, hold on one second. So let's say it's rezoned business and somebody builds a business right up next to us, we're gone, South Philly Pizza's, Martinelli Pools is gone, Bazaris is gone, and what'd you do? You make a couple bucks, you just ran out 3 staples of the city.
So, I'm just wondering.
Yep, no, you're okay.
Marvin, you can correct me if not. So, whether it's residential or business, you guys will continue forward today, tomorrow, the next day, as you're acting right now. Like, you'll still be using it. When it comes to the next step, at the same time,
As you should,
you
right?
guys have been, so this, like, obviously, I love South Philly pizza, by the way.
What's that?
But can I keep, can I just keep?
One person at a time.
If I can just have my second. I love
Oh,
South
go ahead.
Philly pizza, by the way. I'll give you a commercial.
Better get what you can.
So, when it goes to auction, everybody will have an option to buy it. It's unfortunate if something happened. I trust all these people, and I love this city, and that's what, no one's doing anything. That's why so, I've done real estate for 20 years in my job. You guys can go together, buy a parcel, and you guys can split it up so you get what you want. It's probably going to be sold.
Yeah, we figured that.
And you guys have, this is not to sound mean because I want to be respectful, but I get it, and I'm sorry. But you guys have not paid, this has been land that has been used for free for years.
But we wanted to buy it when we have offered.
We are
since
trying,
1970 to buy it.
all I know is I've been on for 2 months and they're trying to correct what has been going, like, I don't know what happened before. They're trying to correct it and it'll go to auction, so I'll shut up now.
So if it goes to auction, it can't happen. So you guys, like the Dora, you're wanting to bring in small businesses, and you're going to run 3 out in the process. I can promise you right now, South Philly Pizza will not be in that building. Can
So
promise you.
What you're not understanding is whether we rezone it business or leave it residential, we still can sell it and auction it off.
Okay, so why do you want to go to business? Because it'll bring more money?
Possibly.
Well, if you guys,
If you would buy it, you would be business, so it would have to be rezoned at that time anyway.
So what if I bought it as personal? I want to build a house there.
It's a permitted use in business zone.
Because we were told that we're not allowed to build structure on it, so what's changed?
I don't know who you talk to. I have no idea. I don't
This
speak
was
for
back
anybody.
when they tried
Yeah,
to
I
buy
mean,
it.
I don't know. I can't speak to that.
So,
naturally.
like I said earlier on, before you guys vote on this, please think about what you're doing to us instead of what you're doing for the big city, because the people that live up by the park, they don't care about that property down there. I mean, who really does? They probably didn't even know the city owned that. How many years before I got involved with South Philly, I drove by, I just figured they owned it. I mean, they've taken care of it. It's been in their backyard. They've used it. But like I said, we will sell that building and we will move. And you will lose a small business that you guys are trying to bring in.
All right, thank you.
Jill White again with Martinelli Pools. So if I was sold the property in 1970 for that 12-foot, and now you're all sitting here telling me you can't do that, it has to go to auction, then at some point, that ordinance had changed. Is there anyone here that can tell me when? Because in the state of Ohio that I do business with all the time, there's such a thing as a variance. So at any point, you guys can say, you know what, hey, we made a mistake on this, or we changed the ordinance. These people are all willing to buy the property and give you the money that you're all asking for, All you need to do is pass a variance to say, fine, we're gonna zone it as business and this is what we're doing. And instead of going to auction, you have first right on it. If you don't take it, then it goes to public auction. I think that's a reasonable compromise. State of Ohio does it all the time. I deal with them on a daily basis for other things. I don't understand what the urgency is that you have to have this zoned as business, other than you want a higher dollar amount. And I don't understand why you still can't offer it to the homes that only have access through that Canal Avenue to the front. Because if you're moving forward, I'm guessing this means you want me to start putting my garbage back out on Commercial Avenue tomorrow, so that you can get the results that you're looking for from people calling in as the semi-trucks blow it all over Route 416, because that was the problem before. Or when they start tying up traffic because now all the garbage trucks have to sit there and take their time going from one residence to the other. So what I'm hearing from council is, yes, you want us to do that so that you can see the repercussions, because nobody's given any thought to it down the road. I mean, I've already reached out to the State Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Office, and the state of Ohio. I'm waiting to hear back from them because they were closed on Friday. They weren't in their office, but they have not had a chance to get back with me on this. But yet you guys are all moving forward before I've even had a chance to hear back from them.
Just because we rezone it, it's not like we're gonna sell it tomorrow. It might be a year from now, so it's time.
You say that, but yet you already had 3 meetings that we weren't notified about. So how do I know whenever you're getting ready to sell it that we can sit here and say, oh yeah, we're gonna be notified about it? You had a meeting back in December and you've had 2 in January that we were never notified.
Get me wrong, we did have a public hearing to sell that property.
I did receive an email about
We
it
have to
on
pass a
Sunday.
resolution
Yeah.
that says that it's being sold and the bid, and council would have to approve it, so yeah, it'd be public hearing.
I mean, that was one of the reasons I announced right here that I wanted public record that any council meetings, planning meetings, hearings, because I'm assuming the reason I wasn't notified of this 3 to 5 days ago was because I specified hearings at the last one. So now I'm specifying I want to be notified anytime these 3 parcels are being brought up in conversation. Because that's the only way we're going to hear about it.
Well, we'd have to have a public hearing before it could be sold. You know, we'd have to pass the resolution to do that, but then on the 3rd reading, we'd have to have a public hearing, which everybody within.
Only if we're notified. Doesn't mean we're going to be notified. And you're
Well, yes, you have
giving
to be
30 days notification. The city prides themselves on being so technology savvy, but yet your idea of public notification is still to put it in the Times Reporter, which hasn't even been in business in Tuscarawas County for I don't know how many years because of lack of subscriptions. But have we changed that ordinance?
Yeah, they're on the cities. It's always on the city's website.
Do you get the city's website?
No.
It's available to everyone. I mean,
But the point is I don't get the Times Reporter.
Well, a lot of people don't.
I have employees and I have a parent that does look at the Times Reporter and stuff online. But unless it's there, I'm not gonna know it. So how hard is it to say, you know what, it affects these people on this route? They should be notified. But we're not. The only reason why I'm here tonight is because someone in this room was gracious enough to let us know. So otherwise, you guys would have shoved all this under the rug again without letting any of us know. Does that seem fair? I mean, you're asking me to trust you, and I'm trying, but you're sitting here telling me in December, okay, I wasn't notified, I didn't get a letter. January, you had 2 meetings on it, I didn't get a letter. The last one I got at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to be here at 7:30. So I don't mind giving the city the benefit of the doubt, and I understand what it means to make a buck, and I understand the city has a deficit that they're trying to overcome. But again, you have a number of people sitting here saying, I'm ready to hand you money. How much do you want? And if the ordinance changed where it has to go to auction, then tell me when it changed. And why can't you do a variance? It's the same people in this room, or maybe several generations ago, that voted that ordinance in. I have no idea. But why can't you then do a vote as a variance?
It's not an ordinance. That's not controlled by local ordinance. That's controlled by the Ohio Revised Code, which mandates that if the city wants to sell property, it has to go to auction. I don't know what the laws were in 1970, or if they were the same, but that's what the law is today.
So
it's
what
not-
has
it's
to
not a
be done
local
to get a
ordinance.
variance on it?
Well, a variance would be something that a property owner seeks to get, not something that would be done otherwise.
I wasn't told that from the state of Ohio. They're supposed to be getting back on me, but they seem to think that you can do a variance on it. But again, I haven't had time to do my research to be able to properly sit down and have a conversation with anyone in this room either. But yet, you're all wanting to push it through pretty quick. So if there's a reason to push it through pretty quick, my antennas go up to tell me that there's something else behind the scenes. And we already know it's not the warehouse because they've already bailed out. So who's the other big fish or big whale in the room that wants to purchase that property?
All right. I mean, you've got my thing, you will be notified. I mean, if we have meetings, I mean, we will definitely notify you. I mean, that's coming from me.
You will now, I just made it part of public record,
That's-
so.
Okay. Agreed.
Mr. President?
Yes.
This might be a question for the clerk. I know we send notices out by mail. Is there any way we can get emails from people, or?
We did get emails last night at 9:30 about that.
Okay.
And we were.
I just wanna make sure you're informed in the most efficient way that it gets to you.
There
Yeah.
has to be a more efficient, because we had to go to Canton today to get products for our shop. And we had to rush down here, our product's still in the car. That, just to make it here so our voice can be heard, that ain't right.
But if you
9:30
go
at
on the,
night.
if you go on the city's website, all our meeting notices,
It's not, that should be our job to check for it.
well, we
You're
can't
right,
notify
you've
everybody in
been
the
leased for
city.
18 years.
If I have to check for that, trust me, honey, I'll be checking more than just what we're rezoning for. I don't know that you want me back in here for anything else I'm not happy with either.
But I mean, that's
Just
where.
say, my mother said I should
you
run
say
for
you
city
don't get the
council.
TR, you say you don't get the TR, and I'm telling you, our meeting notices are on our city website. And if we get to a point where we have to have a public hearing to sell off property, everybody within so many feet of those properties has to be notified by mail.
So you're telling me that it's on the city website. Why is it the city can send me a water bill through my email, but they can't send me a notification of a hearing coming up?
I could, I mean.
But
yes,
we'd
I'd
have
be
to
happy
notify 18,000 people, I mean. if
Then do
every-
it.
What time was it posted to the website last night of this meeting, that this was going to be on?
This
What
particular meeting, it was
Of our.
2 weeks ago.
Yes.
It was
The
right
agenda.
after the last,
So why did we get it
council
at
meeting.
9:30 last night?
I don't know who even sent.
Actually, it would have been 2 months ago. This ordinance was probably on the books 2 months ago.
Yeah, the ordinance.
When we
was
were
on
at the
2 months ago.
hearing,
Excuse me?
when we were at the hearing to give our,
Yeah, it was like 2 months ago, this ordinance was probably brought up. If it's, what is we on, 9?
It was
One at a time, come on.
January
You're saying a
22nd.
bunch of lies.
We're not lying.
Can I answer the 9:30 question? Okay. So, at the last meeting that we had, the public hearing, I was given a list of emails. Okay, so I sent the email just as a courtesy notice that this was on the agenda tonight for the fourth reading. And the agenda was posted whenever you post them. So yes, I was the one that sent the courtesy notice, just to let you guys know, because you had said at the
and I
last
appreciate
meeting
that, Cheryl.
that you wanted to be let known. So.
Yes, and we
yes,
appreciate that, thank you.
I did it.
And Mr. President, if I may add, 6 weeks before that, it was on the agenda.
But nothing was
The agenda's not
stated,
posted, though.
I understand that, it was on the agenda, though.
But it's not posted.
And nothing was said at the last hearing.
First reading, yes, the ordinances were posted on
They're posted on
January
the agenda
22nd.
on the internet.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
The last agenda, I'm on the website right now, the last agenda on New Philly's website today is March 14th. And it's, oh, by the way, it's at the bottom of 2 years' worth of agenda notes.
No.
That's what it is, right now, 3/14/24. It's the final one at the bottom of the page.
The last agenda. Oh, that's your committee meeting, finance committee. That's on the 14th. The
Great.
agenda is March 11th.
Great, but how would we find out about that before if it's not posted in advance?
It is.
It is posted.
But you're right, it is on the bottom, it's in reverse,
But you're saying it was posted 6 weeks ago.
yeah,
You don't
and
have agenda
he
6 weeks
posts them
out right
down.
now. So that's not true.
Yeah, again,
Your next meeting's agenda is not currently on the website
It will
right
be
now.
tomorrow.
but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that ordinance that is tonight
So our
has been on the
agenda's
agenda
not- I
for
thought you
6 weeks.
posted that on Friday.
So let's say it was, let's say it's back
Oh,
as
yeah,
far as
this
December.
meeting's agenda, but now
You just
meeting's
had a
agenda.
public hearing not too long ago. Why wasn't it brought up to all of us at the hearing that this meeting was going to take place tonight?
It's just a regular council meeting, agendas, is that what's the way the business goes?
We just asked to be notified at the last hearing. We even came back in and gave our email addresses and our phone numbers and everything else to make sure. But at no point did anyone say, oh, hey, you might want to make a note on this date, we're going to have a council meeting and this is going to be discussed again. So again, in good faith is what you're asking for, but why wasn't it disclosed? With all of us sitting here, why wasn't it disclosed?
What wasn't disclosed? We had a third
That you had a
reading.
meeting here again, and that we should be looking at the agenda or going through whatever it is that we should be looking for specifically for this when it comes
There
up.
was a third reading of this ordinance.
When you were
No
here.
action was taken. It carries over to the next agenda, and this is the next regularly scheduled meeting, so I'm not
And
sure
us
what
as
wasn't
lay people
notified
wouldn't
of.
know that until you bring it up in those terms to tell us. So unless you are at the last meeting, how are we supposed to know, unless it's brought into layman terms, this is the ordinance that these 3 parcels are tied to, that you need to cross-reference to find where we have to be and when? So I think it's sad that you guys are going to try and push a vote through without doing all the proper research and notification. Because again, there are people that wanted to be here but could not attend.
Anyone else? All right, we have,
Yeah, sorry. We were just trying to decide who was going first. I don't know if you remember me from half an hour ago when I said that you need to talk to everybody who's not a business owner. This decision only affects I have no dog in this fight. It only affects 4 people, and you don't care what those 4 people are telling you about it. That's so silly to me. I don't understand. The people, no offense, but those of you who are sitting at the table right now, on this specific matter, or any matter for that matter, you don't have an opinion. You have a voice that is to represent these people over here who are telling you their opinion. Please don't disregard it. The question was asked and not answered. Why are you rezoning tonight?
because we give the business, we think the best use is business instead of residential. And so we're looking to do that, and like you said, that doesn't mean we're going to put it on the market tomorrow. It's probably gonna be months, because we have to survey, come up with the sizes of the lots.
So the statement is, you're rezoning tonight with the intent to sell and make more money on it. Is that correct? Have I
Yes,
understood you
The
correctly?
city doesn't need that property, so, you know.
So then why rezone it? Why not sell it as residential and let these people buy it?
Because we think the best use is business.
Because you will make more money off of it.
If they buy it, it would have to be business,
Rezone
because they're a
business.
business.
Right, but because I already own.
We're going around the same horse here.
All right, so because I'm a business, you're saying therefore I should be the one buying it. And I didn't have a problem with that when it wasn't 50 foot across. So if you go back to how my map was in 2010, which would be great, because it was correspond with a property that was in front of it, I wouldn't mind buying it. But because you're going to zone it business, you're telling me it has to have 50 foot of frontage. But if the person behind it's buying it, it's going to connect with what I already have. But again, that takes us back to having a variance to it. Whereas I think you had to redo all the plots back on what, January 22nd was that meeting that we didn't get to come to? So again, if you divide it back out to the way it was, then yes, none of us have a problem, even if you want to make it business and saying, here's the price of it. But now you want me to buy the property behind my business, even though it overlaps on each side of me.
Jeffrey Cox, 303 Commercial Avenue Southeast. It is not a business, it is a residential area where I'm at currently. Bought under my wife's maiden name, Melanie Yoder, in case that is important. Nonetheless, the, again, aforementioned 50-foot frontage causes a problem for me if I happen to want the area behind my house because A, I don't need a business, and B, the proposed restructuring of those parcels, being that they need to be 50-foot frontage, takes the backyard that is obviously not my property, but my backyard and half of Martinelli Pool's back of their business. I don't need half of back of their business, and they probably don't want my whole backyard. So I just wanted to stand up and put that on the record, just to say that I did, because that's what I came here for tonight, is to be heard out about this as well, because I can understand that you want to make more money as making it a business, but I don't necessarily need the driveway that is used by my son when he comes home from school out back, because I do have a driveway out front. However, that's not big enough for 3 cars when he comes home, so I don't know where he would be when he comes to our house from his mother's house. Secondly, I don't know if the person that owns the house next to me, but it is rented out, is here, but their people that live there only have access to their house for vehicles from the back. I don't know where they would put in a driveway out front, because again, all of our houses are very close to Commercial Avenue as it is, with not room really for a driveway, so they would not have anywhere to park for their house if we made that a business and it was sold off to a business who put a business there. They would have to restructure their situation completely to have a place for them to even park to live there. So that is what I wanted to get on the record if I could. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Jill White again with Martinelli's. So another question then, if you're going to section off these parcels into 50-foot frontages, can you create an easement at least 4 foot so that if our semi-trucks do park out on Canal, which you're gonna have to rezone because you have signs all over that says no semi-trucks are really allowed on that road already. But so that we can take deliveries then and have them park on Canal in front of whatever business is there to unload and be able to get back to our properties. Rather than commercial, which means I have to shut down half of a state highway route, which has a tremendous amount of traffic on it.
Comments?
That's something we would have to look at the time.
All right, so, it sounds like if we pass it tonight, I mean, we've got a lot of homework to do as far as what we want to do as far as surveying the property down there and lot sizes, if we want to grant other things to the previous owners. So we have a motion on the floor and a second, and we can move forward, or you can vote no, we'll be back to the drawing table, or,
Think about the small business owners.
well, I'm a small business owner myself, sir.
Should I
Well, I don't-
withdraw the
I disagree.
motion and table it and take it up in 2 weeks?
Let's take it to a vote.
Yep.
Take it to vote?
But then we, like you said, Abe, we got work to do if it passes to go to business. We got work to do before we get all that stuff, surveyed off.
Tom, can I go on record before the?
Yes.
I promise you, all of you guys, we will look into this, and if there's any way you guys can buy it outside of what Marvin's saying, we will look into it. And please don't come at us about saying we don't care about small business. There's no one in here that cares about small business more than me. That's what's made my career. I will take this personal. I will look into it with you. I will be available. You can all get my cell phone. The business owners that are on there, I will give you my cell phone tonight. I promise you. We will look into this. It's a zoning issue. We are not selling them tonight. That's all I want to say.
Okay, well, I understand that, but the biggest thing here is why, so right there, if I heard correctly, you guys don't know everything then about it, about that whole issue yet. Why do you pass it tonight when you're not sure you wanna?
I don't think that's relevant to whether or not it's zoned business or residential. The fact that a parcel might have been sold off legally or illegally in 1970 isn't relevant to whether the city wants to rezone a section that it owns, business or residential. That's not gonna undo any of this, to be honest with you. That's all that's being done tonight, is it's being rezoned.
But all of us feel that, we understand that it's the first, we all feel like this is the first step to it being taken from us. That's because
I don't think it's,
Yes,
just real quick,
Mr. Pace.
I don't think it's being taken from you.
No,
No.
that's not true.
That's not true. Because if it goes for auction,
South Philly Pizza.
If it goes to auction, everybody has an
Okay,
opportunity to buy
I
it.
have an option to buy it at an auction,
Correct.
but I have to buy hers and put a hardship on her business
The
and buy his.
plots are not permanent, like.
If
we
it
just
wasn't,
kinda
if you
market it
guys
out,
don't
really.
change it to commercial, I'll buy my backyard. I can't buy everybody's. I am a small business in a small town. But once it's zoned commercial, there's no way I can buy everybody's, and I personally wanna put a hardship on her business
What?
or the business beside me. All I want is what I've been using, and I'm willing to buy that, but I can't buy everybody's.
But if I may, Marvin, just a question I have. Whether it's commercial or it's residential doesn't affect who can buy what sections yet.
That's
It
correct.
still has to go to auction, and the sections haven't been cut out.
That's correct.
So the
But on that
zoning's
map
not gonna
we
affect
seen, there
that.
was a pretty big section that was already
That was
mapped
just an
out.
idea.
That was just an idea.
That was not something that's being approved
The only thing we're
tonight.
doing
Those
is
are lot sizes.
making it
There's
all
a lot
business.
behind me, I could still buy just that piece.
We will have to, we'll have to mark those and get that all surveyed out and everything, but.
That's
those
right.
were-
Which
Is again, why you want to zone it business tonight, so that you can research
That's
them
any
out in
minimum lot,
50-foot
right?
lots.
Is that commercial?
And that's what we want to put a stop to.
Cause even if it's a public auction, I'll go and buy mine, but I don't wanna buy the whole section of the south side backyard of everybody.
All right. All right, so,
And, you know, I
yes.
want to go on record too also, Cheryl Ramos had called me today and we talked about this ordinance. I don't know that we'll ever see anything from the pizza shop down sold, ever. Ever. Did I not tell you that, Cheryl?
Yes, you did.
We won't see that. It's the pieces,
On the Facebook page is wanting to know if it's gonna be, everybody's gonna know when.
it's gotta be true then, it's on Facebook.
Someone's
No,
interested.
no, I'm going on public record. I talked with Cheryl. I doubt if we ever sell those parcels. I doubt if I'll see that,
So why, what you're trying to change?
because it does not hurt anything.
it hurts me, sir.
Who's it hurt?
As
What's it
a
hurt?
resident, if you make it business, I don't ever have any chance of having that backyard because I'm not gonna have a business. Why would I own a business
Your lot is
parcel?
zoned business at this time.
What's that?
Your lot is zoned business at this
All of
time.
those are on Commercial Avenue.
Yes.
On
Yeah.
both sides.
Your lot is zoned business at this time.
But it's a permitted use.
Yeah, residential, yes.
Yeah.
Because it's already all zoned business already.
Yeah.
My home
Yes, sir.
It's
currently is
business.
zone business.
Correct.
Multi-use.
And so the,
It's allowed to have a house on it with business rules the way it is now zoned.
Yes.
It's already
So
zoned.
2 doors down, if you wanted to put in a barber shop like Carl, you could do that.
okay,
Of course,
it's
if
good to
there's a
know.
building in front of it, Carl loses his barber shop.
I am but a lowly nurse. I have no knowledge of anything legal. I am here because of the fact I just want to make sure that
It's a common.
I know what I'm getting into, because as I bought it, all I know is I have a residential home on it, and we're talking about rezoning part of it behind there that apparently is not commercial, as we're, is that the
Business.
truth?
We're going to zone it business, yeah.
So for, Jillian with Martinelli Pools. So for example, Carl's Barber Shop, which is 2 doors down from him, the only way to get into his barber shop in that is off of Canal. He did not take advantage in 1970 about buying the extra land. Foolish old man, he should have done that. Because where your property now runs is literally 6 inches off of his back step, getting off into his backyard. He can't even get into his barber shop. So you might want to consider that too while you're setting up your stakes and rezoning.
All right.
So I just want to be clear here. The gentleman over here in the black shirt, you guys already said this is zone business,
The frontage.
the frontage.
The
So
parcels in question now are residential, the canal lands are the city owns. But on both sides of Commercial Avenue, where your strips are, all the way from South Broadway, all the way down to Fourth Street Southeast, North and South Commercial are all business currently. That's a zoning map right there, will show you that. That's what part of the intent was when we started talking, when Bizarros talked to us. Well, we don't wanna put, industrial there, that's already business, we can match that. Here in the next few months, the city's gonna be rezoning the entire city. But as far as this property goes right now, it's residential. Your house sits on a business zone lot, but you're allowed to have a house there by our own zoning regulations. Houses are allowed to sit in business. So just the misconception of it changes the business, I can't have a house there is not true right now with our current zoning ordinances. And the plat map that was shown, that shows you guys parcels and stuff, the reason that it has 50-foot frontage, because the city's own, our own regulations are, we can't create a new lot less than 50 foot of frontage, and it's gotta be 6,500 square feet. So that map that was shown with all the new parcels is nothing permanent, it was just, hey, here's an idea, what can we get out of it, how many parcels are there?
okay, I appreciate that. Even though, like I said, just because from us looking at it as a small business, it's detrimental. If let's say somebody does buy it, somebody puts a building back there, we're screwed.
That's why Service Director McAleer said that.
Yeah, we're screwed.
The last meeting, I think there's new wheels turning to say, I'm not gonna, speak on it, but I don't know if that'll be up for sale ever.
Okay. Well, no, we appreciate that. You made a lot more sense out of that to me, so I appreciate that. Although, like I said, I disagree with what it is, but now I understand it more. So, thank you.
All right. We've got a motion on the floor in a second. Let's go roll call
All right.
for ordinance 9/2024.
Mrs. Ramos,
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell,
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, but we will, if we move forward, we will keep folks informed of what's going on. So,
Ordinance number 12, 2024, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to amend chapter 901 of the codified ordinances of the city of New Philadelphia for the purposes of updating the same and increasing permit fees for excavating and curb cutting and declaring an emergency first reading.
is there any action been taken on this ordinance tonight? And this one we want on first reading? We did want this on first reading?
Yes.
Was it resolution?
It's
Ordinance
12/2024.
Just
That was mine.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. No action. We'll have it for the next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Resolution number 4, 2024, a resolution by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to increase hangar rents at the Harry Clever Field Airport pursuant to the attached KPHD hangar rent proposal from 2024, beginning May 1st, 2024, and declaring an emergency first reading.
Is there any action been taken by councils?
Yes,
Mr.
Mr.
Long?
President, I ask that we suspend the rules on Resolution 4, 2024.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pace. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Lonzer,
Yes, I move that we pass Resolution 4, 2024.
do I have a second?
I will second that.
Mr. Rippeth, thank you. In discussion with the community, Administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth?
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
All right, resolution 4, 2024 has passed.
Resolution number 5, 2024, a resolution by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Tuscarawas County, Ohio, authorizing and directing the mayor to submit a grant application with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources through the Ohio Recreational Trail Program for assistance for public recreation purposes, and once the grant offer is received, further authorizing the mayor to execute the grant contract and all related documents, and authorizing the city of New Philadelphia to accept any grant money awarded to the city of New Philadelphia and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Is there any action be taken on this resolution tonight? Mr. Lonzer?
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we suspend the rules on Resolution 5, 2024.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pace. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
All right, rules has been suspended. Mr. Lonzer?
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we pass Resolution 5, 2024 tonight.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Kreinbill, thank you. In discussion by the community, administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell?
Yes.
Mr. Pace?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
No.
Mr. Rippeth?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
All right, resolution 5, 2024 has passed.
That concludes legislation for this
All right,
evening. Mr.
thank you, Ms.
President.
Courtright. We will take a 5-minute break and go into executive session at 8:50. So 5-minute break. Is there any new business to be brought before council tonight? Any old business? Yes, Mrs.
I had new business. I've heard this several times, okay, about the publication in the paper of the business notification. It has to go into circulation the most in the community. When I first started on council, we had a couple, Bargain Hunter was in here, the TR was in here, and gave us information, and we had to vote on who we were gonna decide to use. And so I'm wondering if we can revisit what the larger circulation is in the community, whether it's the TR, the Bargain Hunter, or whatever. I know we post it on our website, I'm not talking about that, but our ordinance specifically says written notification in a newspaper. So I'm wondering if we can look at that.
Yes.
I just know for a fact that in the civil service, it used to say that it had to be published so many times in a local, it's something that was local that the people would get. That has been changed to electronic. So now, as far as civil service goes, we do not have to put it in the Bargain Hunter or the Times Reporter.
Maybe we need to revisit our ordinance on that issue.
Well, I can sign it to a committee to take a look at that.
I don't know that we need to assign it to a committee. We're already publishing it on the city's website, which anybody can access in the 21st century.
Maybe if we even hit social media.
Yeah,
If he goes out in the Bargain Hunter, it's gonna be every Sunday, so it's one day away from the meeting.
right.
Comes out one Sunday.
Cause the TR, like I said, is available online, or you can get a hard copy, I mean, so.
And it's on our website. That's the main point.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
posted on a
It's on our
public-
website
And that's a
now.
public website.
All right, we want to sign it. Any, old business before council tonight? If not, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. President.
All right, we adjourned at 9:02.
More of the stories, if you don't want
Hey,
something to
Marvin,
affect you.
what's his name again?